Reggae Interviews. Word sound power.
This is DJ 745 here at the legendary Tad's Records here in Kingston, Jamaica, holding a vibe with a two-time Grammy-nominated singer, songwriter, producer who goes by the name of Etana. She has just released a brand new album in 2024. It's the follow-up to the Pamoja project, and we are super excited to speak to Etana and hear more about the concept behind this brand new album. Blessings once again.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for being here with me.
It's always a pleasure. You know, we kind of like, you know, see you on the road, and then, you know, we see you here in the studios. And
Yeah.
I think that, you know, we always sort of get 100% good vibes from Etana, which is why we keep coming back and talking.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I don't see, you know, the purpose or the point of living any other way, more than just positive and just the vibration, you know.
Yeah. That's very, very true. Now, you know, we've been following your musical journey, literally, I feel, from sort of day one, which I think was, what, more than 15 years ago.
Right?
when we sort of look at your wealth or, your, you know, your body of work, you think, did she really do all of this work in 15 years? It's a heavy collection.
I did, and purposely too, because, you know, this. I think this is what I'm here to do. And I think just why not do it? So I do it all the time. I'm always in the studio, always recording, always trying to perfect, you know, and to do better than I did the last time. And that you can imagine how hard that might be, right? So it's purposefully done.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We've kind of seen your sound sort of really sort of mature with every release, you know, in terms of like, you know, the quality of the productions, the musicians, the songwriting, everything. We know those things are always on point, but there's just something about your sound. It's kind of like really maturing as time comes on.
Wow, you think so? Well, I mean, I like I said, I always try to outdo what I've done last time, you know. Sometimes that's very, very difficult, but I do my best because I always want to give my audience something more, something new, something that stays with them, like all the other ones, but stays with them, that it finds a different spot in them soul, you know. Yeah. And I think while you're doing this, making great music, you're also juggling life, being a wife and a mommy as well. So yeah.
it's kind of like you've got 3 jobs there in one.
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, being the wife is sometimes the easy part, you know. Being the mother is sometimes not so easy because I have to travel and I have to say, oh, I have to go away for this amount of time and this time, and you know, we do all the best part of it though is that we have the video calls that none of my kids call me just, you know, the regular way. It's everything is video, and so we stay connected, but still it's hard for them to, you know, for them to be away from me for a long time. That's the hardest part, I think. But being a mother and being a husband, I mean being a wife, having a husband, it comes together, you know, and that's what makes everything beautiful. It all comes together.
Yeah. Makes all the pieces of the jigsaw.
Yeah.
It's pieced together nicely.
I agree.
Yeah. Look, we want to talk about this brand new album because we are super excited. You hit us with this collab that we were not expecting with the UK's Randy Valentine, a song called Vibration. Oh,
yes. It sets the tone. It's a very sensual song. It's a very... It really does set the mood for relaxation with the other person, or vibing with the other person, or connecting with that other person, you know. And working with Randy Valentine is cool. He's a cool guy, and multiple times I, you know, been in the UK at different venues and different events, and I would just see him walk up to me and give me this big old hug. You know, I appreciate him a lot. Yeah.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that the connection for you and Randy to do a song together has really sort of came from your frequent visits over to Europe and into UK.
Yeah.
And then something must have just vibed together to say, let's work together.
I love his voice. You know, yeah. I love his voice. I love his talent. And that made me link with him. I really love his voice.
And I think that, you know, when listeners sort of heard that single Vibration, they really sort of feel the chemistry. It's coming a little bit like when many years ago...
They're going to think something is there. Yeah, they probably think that something is there. But, you know, it's just a natural connection.
Yeah. Okay. Now, your previous album was entitled Pamoja, and that had quite a lot of different sort of like, you know, fusion sounds. And I think that album for me, the continent that it was really sort of, you know, drawing inspiration from was Africa.
Yeah.
This new album, though, it kind of has like a whole diverse range. It's kind of like, you know, I think really sort of like absorbing the sounds of the world on this album.
Oh my God, you have it right. You hit the nail. My grandmother would say you hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Well, yes, when in this world, in this moment, in this time, right? I want to soak up the energy. I have brought all the energy that I feel every day when I wake up, and the sounds that I hear, just the feel of everything. And I kind of tried, like I attempted to put all of that in the music that I create now. You know, so it's like the music of the time, but as it goes through time, right? I hope that it never gets old.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right there, and I think that you know, when we sort of like look at some of the other singles that you've released, because I think you've had a busy 2024, haven't you? I mean,
sure did.
Even when we sort of like go back to like all the way back in January, that performance at Rebel Salute, the 30th anniversary, what a performance that was as well.
You know, I feel different. I feel like I have grown into me altogether, and I feel like not like I've never done major performances or great performances before, but on Rebel Salute stage, it was so much to appreciate, from walking through the back gates, you know, walking through the venue, knowing the history of the event, knowing where it's coming from, knowing what it means, you know, all of that was in my performance on that stage that night. I drew from everything that I felt that time and before, and I put it together and just let it go.
Let it go. Yeah. And I think that that's the beauty of Etana live on stage, wherever in the world you are. I mean, I'm sort of thinking back now as we're speaking. I think that the very first time that I saw Etana live on stage was at a previous Rebel Salute. Maybe I think the year that Rebel moved it up to Grizzlies from Alligator Pond, I'm sure maybe around about 2013, 2014, when I'm sure that's the first time that I actually got a chance to witness Etana live, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you know, I appreciate all the times that I've done that show. I have seen a lot of faces that I see in Europe and all over the world, you know, come to that show. And year after year after year, all the history is there together in all our faces, you know, as we see each other, as we grow. And I think it's just so amazing. It's, to me, is what makes life worth living, you know? Yeah.
You know, in recent sort of times, I know that you've done some great performances over in the UK. You were in London, I think, in 2023 last year.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously been in Europe prior to that as well. Now, some of your sort of live works has actually been collected on some musical CDs as well. So I think there's an Etana live in the UK, London 2018 it was, I think. And then we've also got this other beautiful project that's somewhere along the lines you put out called Acoustic Gold Volume 1.
Yeah.
What a great project that is.
Thank you. You know, a lot of people, when I perform certain songs and we do like an acoustic vibe, they always say, why don't you just do an album? Can you do something like that so we can keep it? Because you always do like an acoustic song and you post it, and another acoustic song and you post it, but we want to keep all of it together, you know, on an album. And so that's why I did it, because I kept getting requests to do an acoustic set. And so I did. And there's another volume coming shortly. That's why I call it Volume 1, because I'm going to do at least maybe 5 volumes.
Right, okay, wow. Wow. I mean,
I have the songs for it, so.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that I really love about the acoustic sort of vibration is that, you know, a lot of your fans that are watching today, they know your songs word by word. Yeah. But when you hear it in an acoustic,
it's different.
It's different.
Yeah, because, you know, you get to hear all the soul, all the passion, all the love, all the energy.
Yes.
Come out right in front of your face in an acoustic vibes.
Yeah. I mean, look, you know, you've had so many sort of great releases. You know, we've already sort of touched on Pamoja, the Acoustic Gold. We've had Gemini, Dimensions. Now, all of these projects have been with you working yourself as an independent artist since around about 2018. Reggae Forever was the first project that I think you actually ever put out. Being independent. That must have been a big leap for you, but I think a necessary leap.
It was. And at first, I was like, I never thought that I could do it. But my other half, my husband, came to me and he said, yo, you can do this. You know, he made me believe and know. He made me know more than believe that I can do it. And so I just zoned in and I started recording, started writing, started pulling the musicians together, you know. And when the project was done, I called Clive Hunt and I was like, yo, I did this whole album without you and I need you to listen to it and tell me what you think. And he said, well, this song, I would do this and I would do that. So believe it or not, we went back and pulled these 2 songs back, fix it, and then put it back in the album and remaster the entire album.
Wow.
Yeah, you know. But I appreciate Clive Hunt. I appreciate Clive Hunt because he is like one of Jamaica's fine jewel.
True.
You know. And to work with him and to have, you know, several works that we've done together, I think is like a gift to me, you know. And ever since that album and it being nominated and the release of Gemini and Dimensions, I realized, all right, cool, I got this. Yeah, you know. So I still do call Clive Hunt and say, yo, I need you to listen to this, and he'll give his advice. And, you know, sometimes he's very good at certain instruments and how they color the songs. And so I think that's important for me. Every time I'm like, yo, Clive, with your, you know, vintage ears, I call them, I need you to listen to this. I call it vintage, not because of a vintage sound, but because he's like an encyclopedia when it comes to music, you know. So yeah, that thing.
And I think also somebody like Clive Hunt, you know, he's kind of been there from creation, I'm going to say, in the sense that, you know, he's kind of gone through the days of recording completely analog, going through the transitions towards digital in the 80s and so forth. So his ears kind of probably pick up lots of things that maybe you and I wouldn't.
Never. Yeah. That's why I said, like, he has a way of coloring the sounds.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, you know, we give thanks for, you know, the contribution that Clive Hunt has had to you being an independent artist working on your independent label, which is called Free Mind Music. Yeah. Now, as well as actually putting out your own projects, you've also gone into production as well. So, you know, in recent times, you know, we've been seeing sort of like singles that are being released on the Free Mind Music. So this is kind of like almost like another sort of dimension to what Etana is doing.
Creating music. That's all I do. That's all I want to do, is just create music, you know. And again, that's what I'm here to do. And I intend to do so until it's time to go, you know. So yeah, you're gonna see music and videos and other projects come out that I'm not on, but I'm very much a part of, very much involved in, you know. And yeah, sometimes it's gonna sound a little different too, you know, because of the input of maybe a different musician or a different producer or whatever. But as it relates to my projects that I'm 100% all over and taking back and fixing and remastering and doing this and mixing. So, and it sounds crazy, but me, there's a sound, there's a feel. You know, and I have to have that in the music, unless my mind, soul, and body tells me something else. I need to have that sound. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think, you know, talking about that sound, you know, we sort of touched on the fact that this brand new album has got so many different sort of like, you know, sort of influences from across the world. One of the other songs that I think is in a more traditional roots rock reggae theme that we've become accustomed to hearing Etana on is called Jah Never Fail. But it's not just Etana, is it? It's Etana alongside
Big Youth, the big one.
What a combination.
The big one, you know. It's a pleasure to have him in the room. Just hear him vibe and hear him laugh I hear him talk about the music, you know, and his, you know, days and times in it. I love stories, which is why I love my grandmother so much. And when I hear Big Youth voice, you know, the voice is the same. No matter how much time changes, the voice is just always the same. And him have this, you know, when him said, "Jah," you feel it to your core, you know. And when he start to say, "I pray thee," and him start pray, you feel it with every bone. Yeah.
I mean, I think Big Youth is definitely a larger-than-life character in our music, and as soon as he's in a room, he sort of lights it up instantly.
Yes, he does. Yeah. He's amazing, and jewels like Big Youth, I just think that we should honor them a lot more than we do, you know. And not wait until they're not here anymore to say how great they are and to talk about their contributions in music, you know. So this is my piece with him that I know, you know, will go down as one in the books. Yeah.
So was it something that you had sort of like, you know, planned in your mindset that I want to work on a single for this new album with Big Youth, or was it just something that happened spontaneously? You're nodding your head, so it sounds like it was a spontaneous.
For me, it's just free spirited, and I'm very free spirited person, and I work with my spirit, and if that's what I feel, I do it at the time.
Okay.
You know, and when I feel it, I do it right away. Like I don't delay and I don't think about it. If that's what I feel at the moment, I just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't procrastinate then. You just if the vibe is there and your head's telling you it's there.
I just deal with it. I just do it same time, like Nike. Just do it.
Okay, so we've just sort of like, you know, touched on one of our foundation, one of our pioneers of DJing and toasting, Jah Youth. On an opposite contrast, one of the other singles that has been released as well is on a 90s throwback dancehall rhythm. Hey, the bounce rhythm, the song called Mirror.
Yeah. Look into the mirror, tell me what you see. I see someone beautiful looking back at me. You know? Hey, yalla bad, not like how me clean, you not like how me stay. Bad mind I kill you, call me pretty every day. Some must say me clean, some must say me body, you know?
Totally different to what we've heard from Etana. This is the thing that I love, is that, you know, there's this spontaneity in your music and your releases. So, you know, when something is announced that Etana's putting out a project and things, you don't quite know what to expect.
That's a good thing, I think.
It is.
And naturally though, I am a spontaneous person. Like I will, you know, sometimes just get up and say, "Hey, let's do this," you know, and everybody's like, right now? Yeah, right now, let's go. You know. And so in music too, I just, my personality, I don't feel like you should always know what it's gonna sound like, or always know what I'm gonna do, you know. I think that you should be like, yo, never thought that, wow, okay, you know, something to think about, something to take with you. I tell you, it finds a different spot in your soul every time.
Yes, I think it's a bit like the collab that you had with Cartel, Baby O. No one was expecting it. That one just came out of the blue from nowhere.
That is true. I remember when they were talking about them, I said, yo, I never would imagine that you would do a song with Cartel. Like, how did this happen? You know, but it's just music. Yeah. You know, and think of how many instruments there are in music. I mean, anything can make a sound. As long as it can make a sound, you can make music with it. So there is no limitation for me in music.
Okay. Well, look, I know that you know, fans are really sort of soaking in the sounds of the new album. We have some of the things I think Etana's become sort of, you know, accustomed and known for, your roots and social commentary lyrics, and of course the love songs as well. Let's talk about the African connection on the album, though. Oh,
Shatawale, jeez, hey, let me tell you this, like, I think that's gonna be one of them where people are gonna say, yo, I never thought that. Oh, I never thought she would, you know.
A bit like the Cartel one.
Yeah, but it's definitely different. It's a fun song. It's a love song, but it's very fun, and I think one of them sang that to help set the tone too, you know. Like the Randy Valentine song, it sets a mood. This set a different kind of mood. Yeah. But I'm excited about it all, and I'm hoping that my fans everywhere are appreciating and loving the music. Yeah.
But I think that I think from the start of the year when you started sort of putting out all these singles, everyone kind of knew that something's bubbling, something's coming, and then obviously you made the announcements that the new album's coming and things, and I think everyone was really excited because something I wanted to ask you about was, I think in 2023 you said something on social media that the next album that I make is going to be my last album. Now, I'm hoping, based on what we said today, you're going to reverse that decision.
I mean, I always want to create music. I always want to release music. And I was second guessing whether to continue releasing albums or just release singles. And a part of me, like when I tour, I want to have those albums that people can say, hey, can you sign this album for me?
Okay.
You know, I have it on my phone, but I want to have it for, like, you know,
something physical
yeah,
hold.
Right. And so I want them to have that, and I don't want to take that away from them. So I might just keep dropping the albums, but more than anything, I'm definitely going to be releasing more singles.
Right. Okay.
Right.
And I guess that really sort of fits in with, I think, that the landscape that we are in music,
right,
in terms of putting out more and more singles, it massively has changed. And, you know, we keep having these conversations with people about, you know, artists that are kind of like doing really great things on social media, but it doesn't sort of like relate or translate to sales.
Right.
And
at all.
you're the opposite in that, you know, your music has always sold consistently because the quality is always there.
Yeah. And I agree. And you know, one of the good things is to do an album. One of the best things about doing an album is to tour the album and watch the albums go. You know, and people lining up in long lines. And when I get halfway through the line, they say, I know you must be tired, you know, of signing. I said, I never get tired. Especially after performing. It takes me at least a good 4 or 5 hours to wind down of all the energy that I get on the stage. And so, like, for me to be tired after performing, it just doesn't happen. It never happens. So, like, I'll stay there and I'll sign the entire night till the last one is left, and they're like, oh my God. But that's the best part. You know, I get to meet with the people who listen to the music. I get to give them a hug. I get to take pictures. I get to, you know, we make the world go round, man. Music makes the world go round.
But I think reggae music in particular has this really special connection with the fans, in that if you had an artist from, let's say, another genre, I'm going to say hip hop as an example, I couldn't imagine maybe Beyonce or Rihanna doing what you're describing, meet and greets. So, you know, we have this like this sort of like this inner oneness between artists, musicians, and the people. Yeah,
it's different. It's different for sure. There are reasons why some artists don't do meet and greets, because, you know, everybody's not nice. There are some evil people out there who may do things to people, and so they are protective of themselves and their art as much as possible. And not to say that we are not, but the music, the energy, the energy that the music brings a different kind of people, I think. And not to say that there might not be one or two that may be bad in the mix, but at the end of the day, for the many years that I've been in reggae music, it has just been the same peaceful, loving people who just love to rock to peaceful vibrations, you know, and I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
Yeah,
very much so. Yeah. Look, you've been making music professionally that we've been hearing for like just over 15 years. You've done so many things, not just musically, but outside of that. I think, you know, you've been a role model to other females, you know, other people that are sort of like, you know, sort of wanting to take those first footsteps into music. Your name always gets called alongside, you know, some of the elders like Auntie Marcia and so forth.
Yeah.
It must be a great feeling for you to know that, you know, these younger generations of artists, and particularly the females, are sort of recognizing what you have done yourself.
Yeah, no, I can understand, because there are many before me too that I still admire today, like the Marcia Griffiths, you know. She is an amazing person, not just an amazing artist, but an amazing person, very kind, very loving, and she's always willing to show and to guide and to teach and to sometimes be very direct too when she has to. And I appreciate that about her. The Beanie Man them, there is not Beanie Man them, there is only one Beanie Man. There can never be another Beanie Man. Okay? So, Beanie Man, all right? I think he's also an amazing performer, as an amazing artist that sometimes is too humble, so humble that people forget how great he is. But he is so great, and I admire him too. He's never disrespected me, never made me feel no way. Every time him see me, it's just straight love from him walk through the door until he leaves. Many artists like that, and well, not many, to be honest. And now that I think about it, it's still very few, but it's a good, at least handful of people that I know in reggae music that I admire just the same. So I can understand. And we have this unspoken respect, this unspoken code that we don't break amongst each other. We're not disrespectful. We just, and we know we share the same stage sometimes around the world. So we kind of, have this respect and this honor for each other as we go. And that's another thing that I love about being in reggae music.
Yeah. And then one of the other things that I know that you set up, this is quite a few years ago now, was the Strong One Foundation.
Yes.
Give our viewers a little bit of an insight into some of the works that the foundation is presently doing.
I need to, I plan to become more open, and plan to change the name even and do the registration. We've already started the revamping of the company since last year. And getting the board together, because I want really loving people with compassion, real heart, honest people, and that's hard to find. True. And so in the meantime, as we go, I still pay the tuitions, I still take care of those in need, I still do every little thing that I can do to help another person live, go through life, overcome their struggles, and while encouraging them at the same time to keep going, keep building, and never give up. That is my mission, to help with some of the burdens in life that people face. Not to say that I don't have my own, but I think that the more we help each other is the more we help ourselves. You understand? And so, and especially children too. There's so much I wish that I can give and do. And that is why I'm doing the revamping, because I want to open up so I can do much more. And we're on the mission, on the course of accomplishing all of that. The company is already formed, everything is there and ready to go for 2024 and beyond. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Well, look, I really want to thank you for sharing some time with us today, talking about the brand new album. What do you hope that people that are watching today get from listening to this new album?
Oh man, feel the spirit, feel the vibe. Think of where we are right now in this world, in this time, in 2024, and grow with the music and let it take you places. And when you feel down, let it lift you up. And that's the purpose of the music. Whenever you feel down, allow the music to lift you up. When you feel like you can't go, allow the music to help carry you.
I think that's a beautiful way to end today. So I really give thanks to yourself, big thanks to your management as well for putting this together, and of course to Spoonfed as well.
Thank you, and thanks for having me. Big up to Spoonfed. I don't know the thing set. And to Andre Morris, I love you. Mwah.
Reggae Interviews. Word Sound Power.